Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. This video is another 10 products I've hit pan on video, and I know I just did a video like this only about 2 months ago, but I randomly hit pan on a bunch of new products and I have 10 more to share with you, so let's just get started. The first product I want to talk about is from Pure Cosmetics, and it's a bronzer. It's the Glow Together Gradient Matte Shimmer Bronzer, and this was a limited edition product from several years ago. I think I bought this in 2016. If you can see, it has little stripes. Half of it is more of like a matte, and the other half is kind of like a satin with a little bit of a sheen. I really like using this. It's not too dark to wear in the winter. This is a nice and creamy formula. It does have a lot of powder fallout though, I think just because the formula is so soft. So I do feel that I hit pan on this much more quickly than other bronzers in my collection, and I really did enjoy this formula, especially adding that little bit of a sheen to it. Made it look a lot more natural and healthy. The next two products are powder foundation. I've been using a lot of those lately just because they're really fast and easy, and sometimes I don't want to go through all the extra work of applying a liquid foundation, mixing to make my perfect shade, applying it with my fingers, then going in and blending it in with a sponge. Sometimes it's just nice to put on my concealer, set it with a powder, and then throw on a powder foundation after, especially when I don't need a ton of extra coverage. The first powder foundation is from NYX. It's the Stay Matte But Not Flat powder foundation in the shade 02 Nude. I actually just hit pan on it this morning. This is what I'm wearing on my face today. I don't like how bulky the packaging is. There's only this much product, and then you have all this extra packaging plus a sponge in the bottom. I do understand why some people would find that to be more convenient. I have used up one of these before and I do like it. I purchased it because it was on a really good sale. I only got it for like maybe $4. Normally they're $9.99, and I do feel that I go through them too quickly for it to be worth the $10, but at the time I think I was using points or had a coupon or something and it was already on sale, so I got a pretty good deal on it. And I also wanted to see just how many uses it would take to finish. So this and the other powder foundation I will be talking in a future how long does it take to use up video once I finish up the two products. But yeah, this one didn't take me long to hit pan on, and luckily it took me longer to hit pan on the other powder foundation, which I actually prefer. This is from Makeup Revolution. It is the Conceal and Define Satin Matte Powder Foundation with hyaluronic acid and cannabis sativa. It's in the shade P5.7. I have talked about this before. It has an olive undertone, which I really appreciate. They have a really great shade range, and I think this full price is $11. I got mine from the Ulta website. But I really love this powder foundation. This is one of my favorites that I've ever tried, and I hope I don't go through it too quickly so that it's worth the money for me to get another one. Maybe when Makeup Revolution has like a buy one get one half off or buy one get one free deal, I can stock up on these because I do think they're very nice, and I love the convenience of a powder foundation, and I do like the way it makes my skin look as well. I do like that there is a little cover for it, and then you can have a little pad on top of it. If you can believe, the packaging for the Makeup Revolution one is even bulkier than the NYX one. If anyone knows of a brand that is more affordable and offers like refillable powder foundation things, I would prefer that. I think Stila used to do that for one of their foundations. I think it was like a cream in a pan. You would buy a product with the outer packaging, and then once you finish the product you could take it out and purchase refills to go in. I think that would be much easier and less wasteful and probably more affordable for me in the long run. I love the coverage. It's kind of like light to medium buildable. It's not super high coverage. It's not super heavy looking. It doesn't emphasize texture. It's a great formula, and I love that they have different undertones and a lot more different options than NYX does. Now let's get to the eyeshadows. So I do have one single in here, and it's enormous. It's from Nabla, and it's in the shade Luna. Pretty much all of these except for one you will have seen in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project because they're shadows that I randomly chose and I tried to hit pan on them. This one was a really great inner corner highlight. I did use it on my face a couple times, but I didn't really love the texture or the sheen. Really great shade though, and it took me forever to hit pan because this pan is 2.5 grams. So I'm excited to have another pan in my single shadows. I definitely do want to hit pan on more of my single shadows. The next one is from a palette, and I have two shades from here. It's the NYX Bold Obsessions palette, and I have two shades in here, one of which I hit pan on my own. It's called Can't Pink Straight, and it's just a cream shade that I used to set my eyeshadow primer. The other one was randomly chosen in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, and it is Slate All Day, which is this light gray. It has a sheen and kind of a little bit of a sparkle to it. I used it as a crease shade for most of the looks because because I didn't find that the sheen was enough to look weird in my crease. So I have 2 more shades in this palette. Now I have 4. That's pretty exciting. I have another palette here with 2 shades in it as well, and they are ones that are very difficult to hit pan on. I'm actually really proud of these. It's from the Colored Raine Queen of Hearts palette, and they are the shades Noblewoman and Ladyship. Ladyship took a lot longer to hit pan on because it's a matte, it's very firmly pressed, doesn't have a lot of fallout, and it is very pigmented. Noblewoman still took a while, but not as long. It's a creamier formula, and I did use more of it whenever I applied it, so I hit pan on it a little bit sooner than Ladyship. Ladyship I had chosen in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project last year. I didn't end up hitting pan on it, but then I used it in conjunction with another purple that I'll be talking about, and that's how I hit pan. Noblewoman I chose this year, and I hit pan on it and moved it out of my Pan Those Eyeshadows project last month in March. I have one shade here that I hit pan on my own, and it's from the Sultry palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's in the shade Dystopian. Even though this formula is very powdery and very soft, so it is easier to hit pan on these versus the Colored Raine shades, Dystopian took me forever. I think it took like a little over 60 uses to hit pan on it. It's just so pigmented. I don't use it all over the eye. I only use it in the outer corner to deepen up a look, and it's just such a beautiful shade. One of my favorite dark browns that I've ever used, I think because it's so deep and rich, but it has more of like a cool tone to it instead of being more reddish. And I'm glad to have another pan in this palette. I am glad to be getting so much use out of it. It's one of my favorite palettes that I own. And the last one is from the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons palette. I had randomly chosen the shade Black Currant in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, and I hit pan on it last month. The formula for this is similar to the Slate All Day shade from the Bold Obsessions palette. It does have a little bit of a sheen to it and some glitter particles that aren't super noticeable, like it's not like a metallic shade, so I could use it in the crease if I wanted. I could use it on the lower lash line. I did really like this purple. It's kind of like an understated purple, so it went nicely with cool tones, and if I wanted to match it with Ladyship from the Queen of Hearts palette, it could take it up a notch and make it really purple and vibrant. I am glad to have been able to pull out this palette. I purchased it right at the end of last year, and I really love it. I love that it has a lot of cool tones and neutral tones in here, and I like the formula in this palette as well. So those are my 10 new pans that I wanted to share with you. Some of them you've probably seen in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project, at least talked about once or twice. I'm really hoping in my next update of this video I can have more face products and other products besides eyeshadow to share. Let me know if you've hit pan on anything exciting recently or things that you tend to hit pan on very often, like me and powder foundations. But in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!